I'm going to call this meeting to order. My name is Matthew Pionk. I am the chair of the zoning hearing board. With me tonight is Mr. Claude Phipps and our new member, Ms. Joanne Gray. There is a court reporter present tonight. The court reporter is here because the zoning hearing board is more formal than the planning commission. The court reporter is making a transcript in the event of an appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. The zoning hearing board is like a court of law. The zoning hearing board's decision must be based on facts and law, not the popularity or unpopularity of the project or what seems to the board to be a good or bad project. In other words, the applicant must meet a legal burden of proof that proves the elements of a variance or special exception. The law is the city's zoning code and the Pennsylvania municipality's planning code. If there's anyone here from the audience tonight, they will get a chance to speak and must own or reside close to the subject property and have something legally relevant to say. There are no continued cases from last month. And so we're going to go right into our only thing on the menu tonight, which is, I don't have the number up. 2554. If our solicitor can please read into the record the documents that are in the city's file.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Right. This is for 2609 North Front Street. And first is B1 is the proof of publication. B2 is the letter sent from the planning director to the applicant notifying of tonight's hearing. B3 is the hearing notice that is posted on the property. B4 is applicant's notification letters and proof of mailing to the required neighbors. B5 is the application with the attached narrative for the zoning relief the applicant is seeking. B6 is photos of the exterior of the property. B7 are plans for the project. B8 is the deed to the property, which is establishing applicants standing to pursue the zoning relief. B9 is the Planning Bureau case report, and B10 is the City of Harrisburg Planning Commission resolution. So we have 10 exhibits, B1 through B10.
All right, thank you. Jeff, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You could please summarize the case, the issues, and what the city's position is on the case.
Yes, so the application before the board tonight is a proposal to establish a by appointment only fitness studio use, which is classified as a fitness center under the city zoning code, which requires the zoning hearing board approval of a special exception per section 7-305.7 of the zoning code. The applicant is also requesting approval of a special exception or relief from the off-street parking requirements associated with the proposed use. So the subject property is a one-story commercial building, detached commercial building along Front Street. It's internally divided into two spaces. There's the existing fitness center use at the rear of the building, and in the front of the building, there's currently an office use for a media company. As I understand it, the office use is being vacated, and so the applicant is seeking to fill the space with a fitness center use in the front of the building, which would in essence make the entire building that singular use, although it will be divided into two separate businesses. I believe there's 17 parking spaces on site. And off the top of my head, I believe the requirement for both of these together would be something like 34 spaces. However, as noted in the case report and the resolution, the proposed business is a by appointment only use. So although it's classified as a fitness center use, which might seem analogous to something like LA Fitness or something like that, this is definitely a much less intensive use of the space and application of that particular use in the zoning code. And as such, the applicants in their testimony at the Planning Commission meeting confirmed that at the most they'd have 1, 2, or 3 individuals on site having appointments. So, you know, the And that is based on the existing by appointment only fitness center use. I believe the applicants here tonight confirmed that theirs would be operated in a similar manner. So at most, you would probably have a need for 6 to 8 parking spaces on site.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Is the current fitness center use by appointment only as well?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. So really, when we're looking at what the issues are here, it's both the use, which as there's a current fitness center use that is not to the planning bureau's knowledge, created any adverse impacts on the neighborhood. We do not believe that the proposed fitness center use likewise create any adverse impacts. And because of the by nature appointment of the operation of the business, the existing parking on site would be sufficient to meet the needs of both businesses. Additionally, there is a bank property to the north with a fairly significant service parking lot in the rear of the property that, to my knowledge, there's no employees there during the regular day. So if indeed it became an issue with off-street parking and the need to secure more, it's likely that the applicants would be able to work out an agreement with that property owner to just provide parking at the adjacent property. With all of that being said, the Planning Bureau and the Planning Commission recommend that the Zoning Hearing Board approve the request for the following reasons. There are no conditions on the recommendation of approval. The proposed use will be replacing an existing office use on site and thus will not increase the overall intensity of the property or result in expansion of the existing development on site. Given that there is an existing by appointment only fitness center use on site, which has not resulted in any adverse impacts to the surrounding community, it is reasonable to conclude that the proposed use would not be out of character with the surrounding neighborhood. Given the by appointment nature of the 2 fitness center uses that will be on site, the existence of 2 parking areas on the subject property and the availability of spaces in the surface parking lot to the north, it is reasonable to assume that the businesses will not generate on-street parking demand and thus that there will be no impact for existing residents or businesses.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. If the applicants have already come forward, if if you could both state your names, your addresses and your business titles if relevant.
Sure. Dave Butcher, president of WCI Partners, here on behalf of the ownership of the property. Address is 1900 North 2nd Street, Harrisburg, 17102.
Noah Parsons, owner of Triple P Fitness, 593 Nauvoo Road, Lewisberry, PA, 17339.
If you could both please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? They nod in the affirmative. And tell us about the business and the plans for the.
Yeah, so it'll be one-on-one personal training, fitness, cardiovascular. We'll have half-hour and hour sessions.
Much equipment.
Yeah, so there'll be cardio equipment as well as strength machines, free weights, all the above there.
Will there be much renovation needed to be done to the building to fit this studio?
Pretty minimal. Yeah.
Questions?
Question.
5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
I believe the applicant could maybe answer that if you know that.
Yes, they're currently, it's Sculpt Pilates, currently by appointment, and the owner of Sculpt Pilates is here if any testimony need to be entered into the record.
Actually, that was my one other question. About how many people an hour does Sculpt get?
I'm going to allow the owner of Sculpt to answer that question.
Do I need to swear her in? If you could please state your name and address for the record, and I can swear you in.
Beth Seitz, 133 Foxfire Lane, Lewisberry, 17339.
If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. About how many people do you get per hour at one of your sessions?
The max we can have is like 5 to 6. So, yeah.
And it's.
That's good.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Gray, any questions for you? Neil?
No, nothing.
No, any members of the audience? I'm gonna make a motion to approve the application. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Phipps, all in favor? Aye. Not opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Gray. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, guys.
Great, thank you.